Have you ever felt like the whole world is phony? That everyone's wearing a mask and you're the only one trying to be real? If you've ever felt lost, misunderstood, or just plain done with the rules of society, then you'll relate deeply to Holden Caulfield, the unforgettable narrator of The Catcher in the Rye. This isn't just a coming-of-age story. It's a journey into the mind of a teenager battling grief, identity, and the overwhelming noise of a world that doesn't seem to listen. Let's dive into one of the most iconic novels of American literature. Introduction to Holden Caulfield. Holden Caulfield is a 16-year-old boy from a wealthy family in New York City. The story begins with him speaking directly to us in his casual, sarcastic, and brutally honest voice. He's just been expelled from Pincy Prep, a fancy private school, not the first one either. Holden has a habit of failing classes, clashing with teachers, and getting kicked out. But he isn't dumb. He's observant, smart, and deeply emotional, though he'd never admit it. Right away, we learn something important. Holden is telling us this story from a rest home or a psychiatric facility. Something has happened to him, and now he's reflecting on those wild few days in New York City that changed everything. The escape from Pincy. Holden leaves Pincy Prep a few days early, after a fight with his roommate Stradlater, who dated a girl Holden deeply cares about, Jane Gallagher. He's angry, lonely, and impulsive, so he heads straight to Manhattan, deciding to roam the city before facing his parents with the news of his expulsion. He checks into a cheap hotel, where his experience only deepens his view of the world as corrupt and fake. He watches disturbing scenes through the windows of other rooms, and even hires a prostitute, not for sex, but just to talk. But things go wrong, and he ends up beaten and robbed by her pimp. This is classic Holden, searching for connection in all the wrong places. Wandering through New York. In the next couple of days, Holden drifts across New York City. He visits bars, meets random people, and constantly judges the world around him. To Holden, nearly everyone is a phony. He despises artificial behavior, adults pretending, teachers lying, and society rewarding things that feel meaningless. But underneath his sarcasm is deep pain. He visits his former teacher, Mr. Andolini, hoping for advice, only to be creeped out when the man touches him while he's sleeping. Holden feels betrayed, again. He also goes on a date with an old friend, Sally Hayes, which ends in disaster after he suggests they run away and live in the wilderness. She calls him crazy. He's angry and disappointed. Holden doesn't know what he wants. He just knows he doesn't want to grow up in a world that seems fake. The grief behind the rebellion. So why is Holden so messed up? The novel slowly reveals that much of Holden's pain comes from the death of his younger brother, Allie, who died of leukemia. Holden loved Allie. He was kind, pure, and full of life, everything the adult world isn't. Holden still talks to him in his head, still mourns him deeply. He carries Allie's baseball glove, covered in poems, everywhere. This tragedy is at the core of Holden's rage and sadness. He's stuck between childhood and adulthood, refusing to move forward. Phoebe, the light in his life. The one person Holden truly connects with is his little sister, Phoebe. She's intelligent, witty, and still innocent. The kind of person Holden believes is worth protecting. In one of the most touching moments of the novel, Holden sneaks into his parents' apartment just to see Phoebe. He tells her about his dream of being the catcher in the rye, someone who stands in a field of rye near a cliff, catching kids before they fall off the edge, a metaphor for falling into the corrupt adult world. Holden wants to be a guardian of innocence, even though he's lost his own. The ending, letting go just a little. Toward the end, Holden decides to leave New York and head west. But before he goes, Phoebe insists on coming with him. He refuses. She gets mad. To make her happy, he takes her to a park, where she rides a carousel. As he watches Phoebe spinning joyfully in the rain, something shifts in Holden. He begins to realize that maybe you can't protect everyone forever. Maybe growing up isn't about becoming a phony. Maybe it's just part of life. He doesn't say it directly, but you can feel the change. There's a touch of peace in his voice, a soft hint of hope. The Catcher in the Rye isn't a plot-heavy novel. It's about emotion, identity, loss, rebellion. It's about the pain of growing up and the desperate need to hold on to what's real and honest. Holden Caulfield isn't a hero. He's a wounded boy trying to find something, anything, to believe in. And maybe that's why this book still speaks to readers today. If Holden's story moved you, if you saw even a little piece of yourself in his confusion, his anger, or his love for innocence, then you're not alone. This novel is more than just a classic. It's a mirror, showing us our own struggles with the world and ourselves. If you enjoyed this summary, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Storyscope for more English literature breakdowns. And if you're learning English, classic novels like this are a powerful way to grow your vocabulary and connect with stories that matter. See you in the next story.